Welcome to Top Secret Marketing, where we use ChatGPT to elevate your marketing and stay ahead of the competition. Jumping right in today, we're going to be talking about pain points. We're going to talk about the slow way, the old way of doing it. We're going to talk about using ChatGPT to prod for pain points. And then we're going to talk about using a pre built prompt to essentially combine all of those steps for us and do it even faster. So, again, with pain points, this is a basic marketing point. So many people will already be familiar with why we do this, but just in case you're not, and as a good refresher for all of us, the main reason we do this is pain is one of the main drivers of purchase. So if you can solve a specific problem for a specific customer, oftentimes they will pay for it, and oftentimes the amount is less important than just having that problem solved. So what this allows us to do when we have a solid list of pain points is tailor that product and that message to a specific customer. Um, it allows us to maintain that brand loyalty as well, because if we solve that specific problem for the customer or we provide a specific solution, the customer is more likely to then seek out our specific solution in the future. This also allows us to build more sales because we're building trust with that customer for solving one problem. Then they're saying, well, if they can help us here, there's a good chance this company is going to be able to help me there. And one of the other, I guess the final thing it helps us to do is to identify additional gaps. So as we're going through and trying to understand what it is that we are helping our customers solve, it's going to give us opportunities where maybe our products are falling short and we can improve, or even just total gaps in the market. So a quick example of this is if you've ever walked down a supermarket aisle and you've seen 50 varieties of chips or 100 varieties of chips, and you're wondering, how can this possibly exist? Why is there so much variety? And this is a perfect example of pain points in action. They're going out and they're solving specific problems for people who have specific flavor profiles. And that person who wants the sweet, spicy, barbecue, kettle cooked chip, and won't settle for anything else, they're going to stick with the brand that provides them that flavor. And so it also opens up opportunities for additional sales, because oftentimes people will have slightly different preferences. Meaning, if you're going to a party, you're not just going to get the sweet, spicy barbecue chip. You're going to get, a couple different varieties for people who are going to have different flavors as well. So the next question is, how do we identify these pain points? And the easiest way to do this is to become the customer. So starting off with defining the target market and conducting our market research. We've already talked a little bit about that in the previous video. Once we've done that, then we can start digging into specific customer feedback and analyze how products are being received by our customer base or by our potential customer base. From there, we would create a few personas where we're going to actually go out and pretend to be a customer. Do some empathy mapping. What are they thinking? What are they saying? How are they feeling about this product? All of those different things, so that we can attempt to put ourselves in their shoes and solve those problems for them. And then the next step is identifying those trends so that we can stay ahead of the curve. Once we've identified those problems, what will be the next problems that we can solve so that we're creating that line of products or services for the customer to follow. With this in mind, ChatGPT is essentially going to follow the same fundamental practices. We're going to follow those same 6 steps, going through the same process. It's just going to make it much faster. It's going to be cheap or free. We're going to have access to a much wider range, and then it's actually going to act like a customer. Again, a couple of things we always want to bring up. The cons, accuracy at the beginning was a problem. I haven't had a problem with it in a long time. Data right now, it says to the end of 2021, but customer preferences and pain points, unless you have a product that's never existed before, in a vertical that's never existed before, there's going to be information about how people have received that product before. So jumping right in, we've talked about using ChatGPT before. Provide a prompt, wait for the answer, ask more questions. In this case, you're my customer, tell me all of your problems. as you're waiting for the answer, how many beach houses do we really need? 4 or 5. And ChatGPT is going to tell you in that case that it needs more information about your product or your target audience. And that is the beach house that we are able to get. Um, However, if we take our time, if we structure our questions a little bit better, we are able to then improve the answers that we're getting from ChatGPT. So, improving that, again, we're just going to start small. Every time we create a prompt or we're using a prompt, we want to ask clear, concise questions and then provide context. So, give the framework for ChatGPT to understand how you want it to ask the question. Don't just, say create art. Tell it, I want you to make a painting in this way using these brushes with these colors of this object. The more specific you can get, the better the answers you're going to get. All right, jumping in, let's do some GPT search. We're going to start with a product, target market, and then identify some pain points. Okay, back over at ChatGPT so we can do some GPT search. We are going to use a product that I had ChatGPT create and then also a target audience that ChatGPT created. Obviously, substitute your product's target market, all those different pieces in here, but the process is still the same. The application of how to do this will still work regardless of what you're doing, whether it's a product or service. Okay, so the products that we're going to use are going to be beach accessories, and our target audience is going to be beach loving millennials. Okay, so the first place we're going to start is looking at customer feedback. So, and our products is on negative reviews. Okay, so sort of helpful. This is a pretty common response. It generally will then reply with some information that you can use to get the response you're looking for. But it says negative reviews for beach accessories revolve around poor quality, lack of durability, inadequate protection from the sun, beach bags that rip or tear. So essentially just low quality, discomfort, poor fabric, poor fitting, all the things that we would expect to see from there, but laid out a little bit more concisely, a little bit easier here. So additionally, size, functionality. So again, just things that we can use to build around, and we're checking boxes in these areas so that we don't get tripped up down the road. So helping us to answer questions we don't necessarily know to ask. Bringing this in, then the next step is to come over and we're going to create a few personas. For that. So we're going to actually use ChatGPT to do this for us. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a few personas so that we can actually better understand who might be purchasing this product and then start to develop specific pain points for that particular person, which is going to then help us pinpoint our marketing, create our messaging, all of the pieces down. Okay, so we're going to ask it to do it for a specific target audience. We're not just saying go out there and do it for whoever you want. It's going to help provide better answers from ChatGPT as well. So again, just using the same information that we've used previously. Okay. Perfect. So here we are. We've got the personas developed. What we're going to do now is you could do all of this at once. A better practice would be to do this for each individual, is to identify then pain points based on how those people are interacting with your products. It's just going to give you a more targeted message, give you more accurate information as well. So let's just do the first one here, Sustainable Sam. Copy that. And then we're going to go ahead and do some empathy mapping. Okay, and so for those of you who are not super familiar with empathy mapping, that is okay. Essentially, you're just putting yourself in your customer's shoes. So you're trying to decide, what is this person doing? What does their day look like? What might they be saying? Who might they be saying it to? Who might be saying things to them? You're really just trying to walk, as many miles in their shoes as you possibly can. Um, it's difficult for obvious reasons, and also for less obvious reasons. Bias is one thing, but it's the bias that you're not aware of that makes it difficult with this, and also makes marketing challenging. So, with this, we're going to let ChatGPT do the legwork. All right, here we are. So, as you can see, doing all the legwork for us, but we can understand a little bit more about who this person is, or who this persona is, and how we can communicate with them in a way that's going to resonate, in a way that is going to make them feel comfortable with our brand, but also make them a repeat customer over and over. So looking at their impact on the environment, looking for sustainable, ethical production practice. Mind starting to expand on this, you're looking at this and saying, how do I put this into the marketing? How do I put this in my messaging? All of those different pieces are going to come together. But using these as our foundation, as our core, so you can go through now for each audience, but and compare these to our product and provide some pain points that we can solve. So again, we're just going to use ChatGPT to do this. Okay, so 5 pain points that we can solve: limited availability, difficult finding high quality eco-friendly products, lack of variety, inadequate protection from the sun, and difficult finding products that align with your values. So now that we have all this information for this specific persona, we can then start crafting campaigns around that, building products around that, all of those different things. So perfect. So now we've got 5 pain points: limited availability of sustainable and ethically made beach accessories, difficulty finding high quality eco friendly products, sustainable beach accessories, and a little bit of redundancy, but inadequate sun protection, and difficulty finding products that align with our value. Okay, so a little bit redundant, but gives us a good idea, or at least a good starting spot, that we can start aligning our products around, or creating campaigns on. Ideas, you can come down and you can see how we go from a beach accessory company that's just selling generic products to now we've filtered that down and defined our target audience, and we've said, look, we're doing this specifically for beach loving millennials who are interested in these specific things and have this level of education and have this type of purchasing. So we're narrowing this down so that we can be very targeted and be very specific with this, and then taking it even one step further to understand what specific problems our customers are actually looking for us to solve. So we're not just going out there and saying buy our accessory because we think it looks cool. It's saying, well, what is the accessory that sustainable Sam, who's 24, living in San Diego, likes surfing, hiking, and yoga? What is she looking for? What it pays to get inside of their mind, and ChatGPT is a really, really efficient way to do that. So here's some more information on that. We're going to jump back over to the presentation and talk a little bit more about doing this even faster and even more efficiently. All right. So after watching that, I'm sure you're thinking, like I was, if only there was something easier. And as you can see, we're taking one step closer to our beach house. It's not the greatest beach house, but I would definitely take it. So we have pre-built prompts. So what are the goals with pre-built prompts? They save you time, it improves consistency so you know what you're going to get for your output. It gives you the desired output, and then you can tailor these to your specific needs. So you can build them for your own business, you can use them for your clients, you can make them as specific or as general as you want, and of course they can be your top secret weapon. So let's jump in. I'm going to show you guys a pre-built prompt for identifying pain points and doing it very quickly. We're going to use the same audience that we used for the previous set so that you can see the comparison and just get an idea of how they look. Okay, here we are back over at ChatGPT, and we are going to identify some pain points. So the first step, the pain point provider, and we are going to jump into a new chat, pop that in here, make the first request. Perfect. Okay, summary of your business and business name, products, key features, and benefits. Perfect. So we're just going to go ahead and take our business summary from right here, drop that right in here, make sure we've got everything. Business name, product, services, key features, benefits, product services, and then our unique selling proposition is fast free shipping. Perfect. Okay. And we are going to take the target audience from here, beach loving millennials. Perfect. Just as much detail as possible. And we currently sell our products online. All right, here we go with our pain points. Here we are at the end. So what this is going to help us do is we've already defined our target market. We've already conducted our research. ChatGPT helped us do all of that. This is going to then help us analyze some customer feedback, and without us needing to then create those personas, it's going to give us essentially how they would respond, and it's going to give us some ways to offer solutions to those pain points and give us ways that we can sell into our specific target audience. Again, we get to skip a lot of steps. This happens much quicker, and we can always iterate from this. The other thing that this is going to provide is a few products and companies that we can compare to. So if we're looking for examples for brands, or if we're looking for examples to either share with an agency or have our clients refer to, then we can take a look at that as well. And then the last thing here too that we can consider is just identifying those trends or patterns. So what this is going to do is, it says you're looking for ethical practices. They prefer online shopping, so we're right on track there. And then the big thing too is then maybe we figure out a way to how to weave in, ethical practices, or find ethical suppliers, or make those types of guarantees to the customers. That's the type of product that they're looking for. So doing this to help us accelerate that, again, takes us just a couple minutes to go through the entire process, rather than having to type through, try and remember all those questions. Excellent. So as you can see, having that pre-built prompt saves a lot of time. And in business, time is definitely money. So there's a couple things to consider. You can always build that prompt yourself, or build a prompt yourself. There's lots of resources out there. There's a link in the description to get this prompt and others for free. And then if you want to just skip all of that and just get the prompt and get it as fast as you can so you can start using it, there's also a paid link in the description. So use ChatGPT to critique this video. Leave it in the comments. I want to hear what ChatGPT and you guys have to say. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe.